You have an audience. It could be on social, email, maybe YouTube, or could have a Substack, or perhaps you've got a podcast. Or your audience is spread out in multiple places. But if you're getting the feeling that your audience should be more responsive and enthusiastic with your content, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're in an audience bubble. What is an audience bubble, you say? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you what it is, and more importantly, I'm going to tell you how to get out of it. This video is for people who want to get more eyeballs on their products and services, people who want to sell more stuff. And no, this is not some kind of hack that sounds good but fails to work. No, this is the kind of truth that once you hear it and understand it, you'll understand why and how it works. Because once your audience starts responding to your content, not only will the algorithms pick that up and start pushing it to other people, but your audience members themselves will start tagging other people, maybe sharing your content and helping you grow your audience without you really having to do anything. But the first thing we need to address is, what is an audience bubble? Audience bubble means that for whatever reason, your audience numbers are inflated. So if you're in an audience bubble, it's because somehow you've scooped up people who either A, they don't really like what you're doing anymore, or B, they never really liked it to begin with. And the most obvious culprit of an audience bubble, well, you've got to be honest with yourself here. Did you growth hack? Did you do follow for follow, or maybe follow unfollow? Or did you perhaps spend some time coercing people to subscribe? Did you participate in follow chains? Or did you relentlessly just send friend requests to whoever would accept it? Did you spam DMs? Or maybe you've simply run ads for something that no longer really fits your brand. And I'm not judging. I've done a lot of things over the years to try and build audiences, and most of the time I just ended up with lots of followers who didn't really engage that much. And as I said, the problem with these growth hacks is they scoop up people who don't even really want to follow you. This is the primary killer of engagement. So before the audience bubble bursts and you decide you want to quit, I'm going to show you how to escape it. Now, because I don't know your exact situation, I'm going to give you 3 examples of this in action in other areas of life. So we can have a little bit of fun while you figure out how to escape your audience bubble. We're going to look at friends, food, and fitness. Just stick with me. It'll all make sense in a minute. You probably agree with me that having a few close friends is better than having hundreds of average ones. Depth is infinitely more valuable. This makes life more enjoyable. With just a handful of great friends, I can share real life moments on a greater level. I can have support during a tough time, and I can share the fun during times of growth. Now, an interesting thing I've noticed over the years is the better I get at being a good friend, the more interesting people seem to want to connect with me. So the lesson number 1 is, by focusing on depth, breadth seems to come along for the ride. Example number 2 is food. So I like to cook, but traveling full time like we do, we don't have a kitchen. So I rarely get time to actually do it. But when visiting family and friends, we grill, we roast stuff, we smoke stuff, we barbecue. Now, when you're grilling, you can cook things pretty quickly. But when you're smoking low and slow, you can't really rush it. Now, every cook knows this feeling. Every cook has made this mistake. You're looking at the clock and you know it's almost time to eat, and the house smells amazing, and people are asking how soon, like how soon till the food's ready. And you know you need another 40 minutes or another hour. You know you need to let the stuff rest, but the buzzards are circling. And to try and speed things up, you crank the heat. But ultimately, when you serve the food, it's disappointing. The second lesson here is, if you want an excellent result, you cannot rush it. One person's motivation to get fit is to maybe simply lose some weight. But another person becomes motivated after receiving a warning from a doctor's office. Motivation doesn't matter. We know getting fit takes time, patience, effort, consistency. But we try and rush it. And every rushed effort has unintended consequences, like the injury from ignoring our limits, and that keeps us out of the gym for a month. Or the diet that's too strict, so we're craving pizza and chips and cookies, and then we binge. And the disappointment for when the numbers don't shift as fast as we want, leaving us feeling helpless, and it takes away our motivation. Now, when you rush fat loss and actually succeed at losing the weight, you're almost guaranteed to put it all back on plus more. So lesson number 3 here is, there are some things you can rush, but you end up worse off in the end. So let's take these examples and look at the individual solutions. So our friend's example, no good friendship was built without time spent doing stuff. The process is hours and hours spent together, forging strong, rewarding relationships and friendships. And our food example. If you want good food, you fall in love with the process. You spend time digging into recipes. You learn to prepare properly, learning cutting techniques. You trial and error your way, learning how different elements of food cook, how fat renders, how meat chars, where flavor comes from. You know the benefits of starting early and giving yourself plenty of time so you don't wreck it all at the last minute by rushing it and cranking the heat. And when you do fall in love with the process, you'll find yourself looking for any occasion to cook for other people. If you spend enough time with the apron on, your food will keep tasting better and better. And if you wanted to get a better body, you fall in love with the process. You spend hours and hours doing stuff for your body. You find a gym, you might get a trainer or search routines online. You seek out shoes and specific bits of gear that make your go-to activities more fun. Might find a gym buddy or a cycling group or a local team game. Just even walking an hour or two every day and hitting the gym a few times a week will have a tremendous impact on your body and health. When you fall in love with the process, the result becomes inevitable. So back to what this video is all about, escaping the audience bubble. So how do we do it? Well, you guessed it. You fall in love with the process. You spend time. You might need to first cut some uninterested audience members so that the algorithm can start working again in your favor. But it doesn't matter how big your audience is right now. If it's not giving you what you need, you must face the fact that you do not have 1,000 true fans. And do you want to know what's really going to get your audience to respond? What's going to make it grow? What's going to light people up? Well, here's the truth. It's simply about being interesting, having interesting things to say. Be interesting. Funny, deep, nerdy, emotional, doesn't really matter. Just be interesting, and the right people will be drawn to you. Video, audio, writing, sketching, it doesn't really matter. Just be interesting, and the right people will be drawn to you. Whether you're selling executive coaching or kitchen appliances, it doesn't matter. Just be interesting and the right people will be drawn to you. Be interesting and you'll escape the audience bubble. We grow audiences by putting out interesting content. The more interesting the content, the faster we grow. Now, I'm not just going to tell you to be interesting and not give you something practical. Therefore, the job, the focus of our energy, the task at hand, the primary objective, how to be interesting, is simply doing the reps. If you're serious about growing an audience, then you want to be writing every day. You need to get good. You got to put in the reps. 30 minutes a day, every day. And if you're serious about growing an audience and you want to get good really fast, then invest an hour or 2. Or if you can handle the pressure, spend 3 hours a day writing every day. And when your writing is boring, which it will be, then you got to read something. And then once you've read something and you've got more ideas, you can get back to writing. And yeah, you can use AI. Go for it. Experiment. But don't break the damn rule. The thing that drives audience growth is be interesting. And 6 months from now, you'll look back and it'll be obvious why you're succeeding, why your audience is gauging and growing, and why you have more people becoming leads and buying your offers. The opportunity at our fingertips today is amazing. Anyone can build an audience of genuine followers. And a good audience is an asset that will serve you for the rest of your days. So take a course, get a coach, use AI. Hell, even if you just set a timer for 2 hours and just write every day, 3 hours if you can handle it every single day for 30 days, of course you're going to become a better writer. And what are you going to do with all this stuff you're writing? Well, you could write a newsletter, you could put some of it on social media, or maybe record a podcast, or you can even turn it into video if you want, just like I've done here. Now, if you're in an audience bubble and you want a little bit more insight into how to get out, you're going to love this next video. It's where I talk about the truth about the algorithm that you wish you knew sooner because of the damaging effect that it has on your business. I'll see you in the next video.